It's really funny.
All right. Okay. You're taller than I am, so I did put this in. Okay, just know that this is going to be up here. Well, hello and welcome. Thank you all so much for coming out tonight. This is Left Bank Books, the Left Bank Books Foundation and the St. Louis Poetry Center presents Kieron Walquist, Our Hands Hold Violence Poems. Today is the first official day that this book is out in the world, even though some other places, including Pride. We were very lucky to have Kieron at our Pride Festival in Tower Grove Park, which was where I got to meet you for the first time. And it was wonderful to meet and support such an incredible local author. We are here tonight. Yes. Like bouncing all over the place. This is fine. We're all good. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. It is really a pleasure that you have come out to support a local author, a local poet, to help celebrate the release of the book. It is with your support that we are able to do such incredible events like this. When you support Left Bank Books, your money goes directly back into the local economy. It helps keep the museums in the park free and open to the public. It helps keep our streets paved. It helps keep our doors open and like money in my pocket so that I can be paid to survive. Speaking of being paid to live and survive, we are doing a food drive for anyone who is of need. We are working with the St. Louis Food Bank to gather supplies for people that are experiencing the atrocities of our government. So if you are willing or able to support in any way, shape, or form, whether that be sharing, whether that be bringing in something for the drive, that is greatly appreciated. It is a new effort by Evan, who spearheaded that and made it all happen. So we are very proud that today is the official first day of our food drive. I am going to read a little bit about this book, introduce our author, and be excited. So those are all the things I'm going to do. Tonight's book is a National Poetry Series winner selected and with a foreword by Brenda Hillman, a collection of poems that explores rural Missouri, violence, queer desire / intimacy, addiction, familial, and wildlife relationships. Through encounters with the everyday, beauty and brutality, so much a part of rural and urban Missouri. Our Hands Hold Violence explores what it means to experience and or perpetuate small and significant acts of violence toward self, towards others, and the self. What does it mean to hunt, be hunted, haunt, be haunted, and other, be othered? Abiding by a chronological arc told in 4 movements, here, there, together, alone. OHHV follows the speakers as they come up in the show me state and come to terms with queerness, mental disability, addiction, and loneliness in the largely Christian, conservative, and hyper-masculine landscape. Other themes, aspects of note include familial dynamics, estrangement, labor, neglected, and decaying natures, waste, and the confluence of wildlife and mankind. Eduardo C. Corral, the author of Guillotine, says, Kieron Walquist's poems are thrilling. He yokes together violences and intimacies, arranges language into dazzling and resonant patterns, and breaks open memory to release music that's torqued and incandescent. This music is queer, rooted in Missouri, and announces the arrival of a voice that sings to and against the place that birthed it. Kieron Walquist, he, they, is a queer neurospicy poet and visual artist from mid-Missouri. Their work appears in Best New Poets, Gulf Coast, IHLR, the Missouri Review, Pleiades. I never know if I'm saying it right. Sometimes I say it, other times I don't. Poet Lore, Third Coast, Waxwing, and elsewhere. Their chapbook, Love Locks, was selected by Luther Hughes for the 2022 Miss Quarterly West Chapbook Contest. He holds a BA from Lincoln University in Missouri, an MFA from Washington University in St. Louis. Yeah. And has received fellowships from the Fine Arts Work Center, Monson Arts, and Vermont Studio Center. He is currently a PhD candidate at the University of Utah and lives in Salt Lake City. Without further ado, would you all please help me in welcoming the incredible Kieron Walquist.
Thank you. Is this okay?
Yeah,
You're all right. All right, cool. Gosh, sorry. Why did I expect you? Oh,
It's, you have to leave.
oh, perfect. Yeah, this feels too much. Oh, well, thank you, Shane, and Love Books, and what you said, and everyone for coming out to hear a little me read. Yeah, they're just kind of like hillbilly poems. But I'm so lucky and fortunate to be able to write them and to share them with you all. Eduardo, thank you for all that you've done with the book and with teaching me as I go, as I learn. I'm still learning a lot. Before I do, I just want to quickly check something. Okay, I think my phone is about to die, but I really hope to read and think about Ellen Brightboy, if that's okay. I didn't personally get to meet her, but I met her through her poetry, and I'm so grateful that I did. It's truly good. This is Winterfield. The Winterfield is not the field of summer lost in snow. It is another thing, a different thing. We shouted, we shook you, you tell me, but there was no sound, no face, no fear, only oblivion. Why shouldn't it be so? After they pierced a vein and fished me up, after they reeled me back, they packed me under blanket on top of blanket. I trembled so. The summer field, sun-fed, mutable, has its many tasks. The winter field becomes its adjective. For those hours, I was some other thing, and my body, which you have long loved well, did not love you. I'm thinking of spooky time and spooky season, which is my favorite. It started with a poem called Halloween. Halloween, always homemade and never a home run. One year, I was a chocolate chip cookie fashioned from a greasy Pizza Hut box. Polka dots circled on with a dry dead Sharpie. My straps were green and leftover Easter ribbon. My dumb 7-year-old slogan, trick or treat, don't eat me, and no one got it. Door after door, adults with bowls of milk duds and Skills would stare me down, while I held out my sleep-slobbered pillowcase and peeked inside their clean, quiet houses. Even the crackheads and the duplexes up the road. We were told not to go, but they had king-size candy. Stopped and said, "What the hell are you supposed to be?" I never had an answer. I'm gonna maybe just jump around a bit. I think the only thing I should say about this project is kind of experiences across Missouri, so I kind of jump around a little bit. But more rules and not quite St. Louis. I wanted to get there, and we hope this one's in Jefferson City, called Anything. Something in the heat, the heave, silences us from sleep to stand before it. The second house on East Ashley unfolds a red carpet on its windows, bakes their rage and radiance until the firemen soak the fabric darker, heavier, than still. When they're tired and headed home, the house, now an inkwell, will scrounge the spill. Reusable pots and pans, copper wire, anything worthwhile. Wonder if the house took like McCarty, fuse box hot wired, to catch white fire by a vengeful ex-lover, or if it went up like the one on Lincoln, left to dissolve by an oven, left on by the owner. Story goes he'd been shooting up stars, that the woman on the cart he found her man with another man. It doesn't matter who's the fuel and who's the flame. We follow devastation, walk in that house when it isn't ours. This next one is kind of written in a spiral, so I may have to trim the poem as I go. But just a warning, just so that you know, oh, this kid doesn't know how to read. Doesn't know how to read a book, but it goes like that. And this is from my sister, who I grew up kind of on a farm, and we would hunt a lot. And it's around that time when the deer are moving. So, deer season, youth firearms. You're 13, and return from the woods with a scope eye, which is to say, you shot yourself and lived. Or, more precisely, you kept your eye on the doe beyond the blackberry. The sky was color of lint, and the leaves were wet. You crossed her heart with a fine, fuzzy line, and fired. Your eye still pressed, slightly green lens. The rifle's recoil so powerful that it hole punched your brow bone and the soft skin beneath. Your right eye was raccoon for Halloween, perfect for a pirate. Sister, I'm sure the blood was hot and viscous, but began to swirl and swirl and swirl, and maybe you saw the very red of yourself there, briefly, on the glass, before you closed and wiped at that eye. Maybe you saw yourself like a kaleidoscope. I'm just kind of plowing through these. So this is the opening. Hometown, Hartsburg, Missouri. A coyote cry that tears through sleep in the country dark. The bleats and bells from goats heavy with milk. The creek that overflows and leaves crawdads and catfish breathless in backyards. The ditch where folks toss their trash, tires, television sets, a Maytag washer. A boy abusing Sudafed. A three-legged blue tick never let off its chain. The rumor of a cougar deep in the hills. A caved-in septic tank that can drop you, drown you. A cathedral of cedars. The tumble-down barn with warped wood. The abandoned car rusted and broken into by musk thistle. The dynamite blast from the quarry that rattles windows, the fog flung over the valley like a mortuary sheet. This next poem is hopefully in conversation with Carolina Abid, and her poem, Veronica's of the Matador. And in it, she, among other things, talks about her son who is on the spectrum. I'm also on the spectrum, so it's kind of wild there in conversation. And the neurotypical poet wrote, lack of empathy could be a fern. And by God, I wish it was. My struggle only something of the woods, viridian and vascular, finicky about sun and shade, birth and rebirth, a shot of spores. What I'm ashamed of, just a fountain of bronze, their fanning and forward flow, as serene and salubrious as rest. I would like that. This next one's called Black Cat. 4th of July, charcoal sky, and throbs a field of flowers, white peony to silver palm pistil, red dahlia cracking crackling chrysanthemum, and the boy pulls a bottle rocket from a bouquet of bombs held by a brown paper bag and lights it. It's easy, it's easy. The fuse fizzles out. So the boy leans over the cola bottle and looks down on the launch site. It's not a duh, just slow. The boy breaks his pretty face about in two, poppy petals melting through his hands. I can't see. And from where I stand, I see the boy, caught in a corkscrew of smoke, sulfur and saltpeter and savagery, the glint in his light blue irises, the receipt folded neatly in my back pocket. Maybe a couple more, and then I stop and run away, or we do something. This one's called Want. The blue and gray muck dumpster at Mosher's Groceries is the only grave Mother says she'll put us in. We're scavenger birds for her pride, taking what's free, what's there, because we're told it's good before it's all the way gone. My sisters spoil raspberry pink, ashamed, look around while I'm made to dig in old cardboard and plastic bags. I offer fried bread, button mushrooms, a head of lettuce, oranges. Rot is a crayon box of colors. Gray, white, yellow, green, blue, brown, black, very black. Rot is served wet, soft, whiskery, and inside turned out smell. What's that you're holding? Mother asks. Not want, but food. And she's right. This cantaloupe, split open and soured, is not want. My siblings and I in Hartsburg, with nothing to do, would often just kind of, should I say this out loud? Maybe. We would like sneak into places sometimes. Like abandoned places. There's so many. And one of them is just off the highway. This great women's prison in Jefferson City. I don't know if anyone's been. Oh, okay, yeah. It's on this. It's just right up there. It's just kind of just sitting there because it has to. And so this is kind of about that. Some other things. And it's told in two parts. Remains outside Jefferson City, Missouri. 1. The buck, car wrecked, now rests and rots on an aisle of birchwood tree foil off Highway 63. My brother and I break our father's truck laid for pawn shops and coast over. I pet its coat, comb my fingers full with it, while my brother gets his hacksaw to harvest its antlers, its small coat rack. Because he'll rattle the bones when hunting, because we can't leave any crime scene alone. The buck is puffy, lammed by green bottle flies, and behind us, slaughter red, streaked dry across the asphalt, like ketchup down a t-shirt. The smell of it churns. My brother cuts bone from skull. I try to hold the body steady by its front hooves. 2 black hearts. I tell myself to get through. I look away when I see, in the copper pool of its eye, me. 2. The prison sits and scares on a floodplain, a former farm of corn and soybean that borders a muddy Missouri riverbank. Since the flood of '93, it shrivels for no more. Whitewashed and wicker, blood orange rebar, worn out, beside its monolith. My brother and I trespass past the night's violet. We're there to see ghosts, the gas chamber, the shower spray painted in kitschy and god-awful graffiti. Satan, swastikas, cocksucker, Hannah is hot. We're there to haunt something other than us. By cell phone light, my brother and I walk along cells that snow glow with dust, likely asbestos. Deep blues and abandoned sleeping bag, and I no longer want to be here. You hear that? My brother says, and holy shit, I hear it too. Okay, the last one. Well, actually, I realized that there's two poems that are very much alike. So, which is I'm kind of like, oh no. Well, no, should it be a horse or goat? What do you think?
Oh,
Both? Oh,
yeah.
well, okay.
Horse.
Horse and goat. Horse and goat. That's great. That's the way it's kind of printed out too laid out. Okay, but they both kind of circle around a relationship that is no longer, but I quite loved this person who I think I'm now realizing maybe didn't even like me that much, which is something that doesn't quite get either time after time. But the first one is called You, Me, Frank Hayes, Sweet Kiss. My favorite record. In 1923, a dead man won a steeplechase, which was his first race. I come out to my parents and you break up with me in a text. The stand-in turns stand-in, the stabled hand turns stand-in jockey was Frank Hayes. The horse, a 7-year-old mare, was named Sweet Kiss. It was her first race. Your text, I'm sorry you're feeling this kind of loneliness. I also want to let you know that lately I've been feeling a little emotionally unavailable, detached from the world. During the race, Hayes, either 22 or 35, according to some newspapers, suffered a heart attack. Your text, you've been so good to me, I've done my best to reciprocate, but despite that, I don't feel the romantic spark. He slumped over, but remained in the saddle. Sweet Kiss kept on running and crossed the finish line. The odds, 1-1. Your text, I know we talked some before I left, but did we really talk about what we wanted from each other? At the finish line, it said a small crowd ran out to congratulate the two. Hayes, then, against the horse's neck, fell. Before you left, I stayed with you and helped you pack, helped you throw this and that out in the alleyway dumpster. While some say Frank's Hayes' heart failed from excitement, others believe it was a result of having to lose 10 pounds in 24 hours, reducing his weight to 130 pounds. I brought groceries that week. What you didn't pitch, you put back in my hands. I ate grapes, pickles, Pop-Tarts, granola bars, potato chips, and those yogurt popsicles you asked for on my car ride home. Ate until I made myself vomit. I no longer had a home then. Your text, I didn't really know how I felt regarding the spark being gone for me until you were helping me move. And then I didn't know how to communicate that to you. Out of respect for Hayes, Belmont's Jockey Club still declared him the winner. 3 days later, he was buried in the same riding cells. Sometimes I wear the briefs you mailed me. They're blue and too small. We haven't spoken since September. During the race, as Hayes cleared the final jump and passed the winning post, spectators took his leaning for love, believed he'd been whispering in the mare's ear. My second favorite record, being buried alive, was so common in the 19th century Doctors would tie a string to a person's finger. If that person were to wake up and move, the string would ring a bell outside the coffin. Before you left, you kissed me goodbye outside a coffee shop. Sweet kiss after June 4th, never found another rider due to superstition, retired after one race. Tell me, bub, which one of us is the horse and which one the jockey? For us, should the jockey be called honesty? Is the horse named heartache? The other night, I heard a bell in the dark. Wanted it to be you, wanted it to be my mother. After June 4th, Sweet Kiss was known as Sweet Kiss of Death. Tell me, bub, is our horse fed peppermint and led out to pasture? Is our horse on a carousel, then to run a race that never ceases, only circles? Okay, I got to take a really big breath. This next one's like a single sentence. It's kind of chopped up, so it's a little fragmented. It is after my Lord and Savior, Bridget King Kelly. And I don't know how much this made the news, but there was a statue of Baphomet in Iowa's Capitol, and someone ripped the head off. And when he ripped the head off, it was just kind of glue and paper shading. But when he ripped the head off, he said, like, no one was around on TV, and that stuck with me and reminded me of the song, the poem. So this is a kind of a meatloaf poem, I should say. So there's many things, but I should probably read it now. You, me, disco Baphomet, broken thorn, sweet blackberry. The statue, half man, half goat, devil, in Iowa's Capitol, in a red robe, goat head, 100 broken mirrors, and the man later on TV said no one was around, simply pulled off the head with his bare hands, the head being fabric, blue, being bedazzled, the goat shimmered in death, the candles, the wreath of flowers, the worship, more vigil now, and I worshipped you, the half man, half goat tattoo on your arm, a fawn, dancing with a Walkman. I remember you on my chest as I gave you head, and you called us faggots affectionately, time to time, and laughed your devilish laugh, the time you asked if I'd walk your beloved beast, a basset hound, only for the dumb dog to eat dog shit off the sidewalk, and I reached in its mouth, struggled to, about pulled off the dog's head before it could swallow, was bitten in the process, thought this is love, a handful of shit and blood out of the dog's mouth, only for a text. In the end, you said it was just casual, while I, 100 years broken, said nothing. Looked to the trees, shimmering, the goat was a girl's beloved beast, a beautiful thing. She'd brush and bring milk and walk beside the railroad tracks. The goat soon stolen at night, and the boys said it was a joke, nothing but a joke, but it was hard work, their little hatchets, the goat screaming like a half man, half devil, the night, dark as a dog's mouth, the death shimmering, and later the heart missing, the head, the home, the girl began to sing. Oh, disco Baphomet, broken thorn sweet blackberry, my dumb singing heart, boys, men, our worst devils, will slaughter something beautiful, bedazzled, beloved, with their bare hands, their little hatchets, boys being boys, 'cause no one was around, was a joke, was nothing, was casual, but I remember the night. I simply pulled off your shirt, hands above your head, your shorts, your briefs in the backyard, because it was more, was worship. Oh, you were a Baphomet, a golden calf, a beautiful thing. Thank you all so much. For confirmation. No, thank you all again. Oh,
the question?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, questions, yes. Yes, sorry, I should have said that. Yes.
Oh no, it's okay. Well, as I'm from outside of Rolla.
Oh,
and so-
my gosh, yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
so a lot of Missouri writing and stuff, and I'm often thinking about writing in place and time, and I know I'm always trying to capture some kind of essence, like some Missouriism, and I don't know if that's like a specific kind of loneliness or grief or a desire, but because this book is so willing to lean into that space, I guess I'm just curious what makes the space of Missouri shine. What is that articulable reason or feeling of Missouri that?
Oh, yeah, no, this is thank you so much. This is such a great question. So I think I've been wondering that too, as someone, right, who hasn't really moved much, who's always been here, but has felt not up here enough the place, if that makes sense. At times it's so beautiful. I'm from Hartsburg, so I have like the river bottoms and the bluffs, and the great kind of farm fields and the rolling hills, and there's so much feels like going on, but not. And it's kind of stuck in time and out of time with kind of all the places that are falling apart. So I think some of it's, yeah, maybe this weird beauty, but also you drive by these billboards that say just like the wildest out of pocket things. It feels also very Missouri. I don't know if I'm in there. I mean, it's your
Please.
question. But I like what you said about thinking of, yeah, desire and grief and maybe this sort of kind of loneliness. Yeah, I think of it like that too. And hopefully I'm capturing it in a sense, and maybe it's not, maybe it's very much like just my little corner of what I know. Yeah, I guess as someone who's always kind of been a little bit strange is often just looking at this place, and I think that's kind of what I find. But yeah, does Missouri have its own thing? I don't know. I often feel like too it's like a meatloaf of things. Rala. Oh, I love Rala. I don't also know it's kind of like the strange thing to say. I remember playing volleyball in Rala. That's anyway. I don't need to say that. Thank you. Yeah.
Very technical question, because I noticed in this book there's a lot of really unconventional use of punctuation in it, which to me the plus sign really stands out, because most people like me included will perhaps go to and or ampersand. But there are lots of plus signs over here, but which really work for the poems. What's the reason of you choosing plus sign instead of ampersand or just and?
Oh yeah. Oh thanks. Oh, I'm glad it's working. Because sometimes I don't know. I'm like, I guess maybe this will work. I think of what Robert Creeley said, the ampersand, that it reads on the page a little bit faster.
Mhm.
And for me, I think that's true of the ampersand or the plus. But I think I'm taken by the plus, and this is going to sound like but it just, I think it looks so much like a cross, and it looks so much like crosshairs, and it's maybe not so much of a natural kind of and or with the ampersand. I think it leans into more like collage and kind of right. Well, it's an addition sign, so it's very much like, oh, this thing and this thing plus, even if they don't make sense. And I've always read and as a plus anyway. I think you can read it as and or plus in the book, hopefully. And yeah, and I like mess around with symbols and things. I don't know if that answered your question, but I think it's a speed and visual thing for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that's the plus thing, and also I think thank you, because you answered my other questions. I do notice like before and after the plus sign, the sentences, the images are strikingly different. So I think that's what makes this plus sign so effective over here.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Tribe. I don't know what tribe.
This may be a question that is not relevant to your practice, but if it is, I'm really curious about how, like, when writing about ecosystems and engagement with intersecting systems, how do you think about the movement of consciousnesses that are not yours through these spaces, whether they're animals or flora or other presences in these very space-bound poems?
Yeah. I'm thinking into just kind of witness, and when witness, maybe sometimes it gets too close to like, voyeurism, or perspectives that aren't quite mine. And there's a persona poem here too that's not my voice, but I'm thinking of the space, in spaces, I should guess. There's also some like weird history and some articles that I kind of grabbed, and a collection of things. That's a great question. I'm thinking, and hopefully writing towards tenderness in that way. And I think there's some poems too that I kind of pulled maybe just for those reasons. I'm like, oh, I don't know. Especially with living on a farm, there's been violence I've been subjected to, and violence that been done by my hands, sadly. I think I'm still, wrestling with a lot of that, with what's haunted me and what I've haunted others by. Gosh, I really don't know if I succeed. I don't know if that answers your question, but in thinking of maybe tenderness or holding space, and of imagining, I think they do have voices. I like to think of, my past friends that aren't no longer or animals, of containing some, even if they haven't expressed that when looking at me, maybe about that. I don't know. Sorry, that was probably a mishmash of things.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
I was checking to see if there were any from our virtual audience, but I'm giving them just a little bit of time to type in a question if they would like.
Yeah. Thanks again for coming out on a Monday. Y'all have class on Tuesday? I don't. Oh. Thank you, I really appreciate that.
We came straight from class.
Oh, you did? Oh, wow.
It's actually a class on writing instruction, a first book of poems. What's the biggest difference in level of structure, or language, or elements between your thesis and your first book?
My thesis, it kind of took on like a book arts quality somewhat, and that like I gave it to Carl and Mary Jo and Nikki Hurd with like pages torn ripped out as like a flip book, and it did not have these kind of sections in it. And when pitching it, when trying to get it out there, doing what Dana Levin calls like tired diligence, just kind of like submitting just because you have to, even if you're not like, quite confident in it. I just kind of kept changing it, and I don't know how I landed on 4. I think I see it as movement from voice to much older voices. So I was like, oh, that can maybe some things. I switched out some stuff, but there's more Iron Giant poems. I didn't make it because I also was like, no one wants to hear Iron Giant as much as I do. I talk about it way too much. It was just kind of collage and thinking and hoping and trying things out. Tinkering, I tinker all the time. I think that's what works for me.
Let's give another giant round of applause. So we will do the signing up here in the front of the room. If you would like to purchase a book, Elon is at the desk, and we'll be happy to sell you a copy of the book. And it's a perfect gift if you have anyone on your list that you're just like, well, yeah, those holidays are coming up. But I want to thank you all so much for coming out tonight. I want to thank Aaron Quick from the St. Louis Poetry Center for helping out with this event. And for all of you to be here with us this evening.